Hi all, Kitamari here, playing the PS5 version of Above Snakes. I'll have info in the description, a link and all that, so you can see if it's also on PS4. It's also on PC. I'd heard about this game some time ago, the Steam version, PC version. I'd actually been thinking about getting it. And then I was able to get a code for the PS5 version, so checking this out right now. And this is post-commentary, by the way. Alright. Watch this first.
The drums of war echoed across the land like a never-ending thunder. While war raged on, a love blossomed from the fields of hate. And from that love, a child was born. Ayana, who had eventually grown into her own, chose to travel the lands and learn for herself the histories of her lineage. With a heavy heart, her mother stayed behind in a town called Corpse Creek. Ayana had stayed in a lumberjack settlement far away from her beloved mother.
Alright, so that was the opening scene. The next morning, let's jump in. X to wake up. I really do like the PS controller, by the way. Ayana, are you awake? I just like where the start and select buttons are. I'd come to the realization that, like, on the Steam Deck, for example, it's the start and select are in weird places, and on the Switch as well. But yeah, this is basically a Lens Island-like type of game, and it's not quite what I was expecting. I'll get into it as I go forward here, but this is a zombie survival game, and I'm gonna go through the text a little bit fast. Sorry about that if you're trying to read, but yeah, this is a zombie survival game, but it feels more like a farming sim. It feels more like your Stardew Valleys and your Harvest Moons, honestly. But it feels most of all like Lens Island because there is some combat. It's a bit in the background though. And honestly, probably the reason why I'm bringing up Lens Island is because of the camera. This is an isometric view survival farming sim, which is something that is not terribly common. And I had so much fun with this. Nothing could have torn me away during the hour that you're about to see here. I was just, I couldn't stop playing. It's so enjoyable. It is extremely enjoyable and very chill. It reminds me of anything of Forager, but like a non-boring version of Forager. Fun fact, I actually think Forager is a little bit boring. And I bring it up several times, Forager. The game Forager, and it's funny how I compare it to a lot of things, but I actually think Forager itself is a bit boring. This is a lot less boring, probably because of the zombie angle, but there's another aspect as well, which is that, and you'll see soon enough, but the objectives that we have, they can be completed so fast. We're constantly moving on to the next objective and the next objective. Very fast paced. I don't find myself kind of banging my head against the wall trying to find a particular ingredient or trying to know exactly what I'm doing. This is just a game where you jump in, you know exactly what you're getting up to, and I bring up Forager because this will show up a little bit later, but you can create your own world, Legend of Mana style. You can you can unlock biomes, and you see how this world is kind of like a square shape, and you see off in the distance there's what appears to be the sea, I guess, like a sort of gray, sad sea. That is basically this ground floor, this empty ground floor, and you'll eventually be able to add a bunch of lands to it, bit by bit, piece by piece. We're on day 1, and this video is going to be covering the first 3 days of my adventures in Above Snakes. You see how she's doing this hunched thing? She does this hunched thing while she's doing things, which I found very distracting, actually. It's kind of funny, but anyway, there are a lot of things to craft here. You see that crafting window that I'm using right there that says blueprint and stuff. I feel like they could handle that a little bit differently. It feels like it's blocking everything and that they could just, I don't know, have a less crowded interface right there. But I'm trying to whack that. I was trying to whack that rock with my hand because I'm a hand whacker on rocks. I don't know. I'm trying to get used to doing some post commentary because it feels a little bit out of my element, and I want to be more, see, I'm already doing it again. I don't know what I'm saying. Versatile. That's it. That's the word, versatile. So anyway, Joanne over here. Joanne. She, we'll get into it later. I don't know. I might cover all of this game, or I might just have commentary for some of it and then put chapters in there and you can kind of see the different sections of gameplay. But Joanne betrayed us. Joanne, she betrays us later in the story. It's a moment in the story that I feel, I don't know, maybe I should cut this part because I wish I didn't bring that up. It's a little bit spoilery, but I don't know, since I'm not going to be doing, I think I'm not going to be doing full commentary for this entire video. I'll just say that there's a certain story beat that I feel they could have changed it. They could have made it a little bit different, just to make it so maybe the characters don't seem so unlikable. We have our main character, and I really like her. I like this main character. She is spry, she's a go-getter, and she gets things done very fast. She can run around very fast. I've never had any real issues with the controls. There are a couple moments of confusion that were very brief, but yeah, there's a lot to do. You jump in this game, you automatically have a ton to do. A lot of things to make and a lot of things to work towards. That is one heck of a weird pickaxe, by the way. It, I don't know. It doesn't look totally out of place, but it's a funny looking pickaxe. So, crafting a hammer. When I've done this, basically what the hammer does is it makes it so that we can craft buildings. And I really like the building tools in this game. In fact, probably the biggest praise that I can heap upon Above Snakes is that the controls, by and large, they are so intuitive, they're so clean, they're so easy to grapple with, and everything just makes sense. And it really made me come to the realization that, like, when it comes to this viewpoint, right? It's like, I guess I called it isometric viewpoint, right? I guess that's what it is. I don't know if there's another wording for it, but anyway, Joanne's telling us about crafting and stuff. This is the tutorial, and I don't know if it's skippable, but all of this stuff here in this house, right? I'm like looking at all of it because she said something about taking down her old house. This is not the house she's talking about, actually. She's talking about another house, a broken down one, but you can also take down this house, and you're actually told, like, hey, you should take down this house. And I find it strange that they would have these places that, you know, they've designed, they put them here, and then they let us just kind of demolish them. And not only that, but you can miss out on certain items that you would otherwise have in your inventory if you don't pick them all up before you go about with your hammer and go crazy demolishing stuff. So even over here, where I'm eventually going to figure it out, even over here, I regret not double checking to see, yeah, that takedown function, to see if there were any other things there, because it's very easy to just tear down a building in this game and then lose all of the ingredients, which you don't want to do. So I have now reached the point where I can craft a workbench, and everything is just happening so fast. It's all just, I don't know. I feel relative to some other games, like for example, Fantasy Life. I'm eventually going to cover Fantasy Life on this channel, and I enjoy that game extremely. But it takes a little while for it to get going. It takes a little while for you to reach the point where, okay, things are kind of going at a brisker pace. This game is just, it's so brisk. And now I'm gonna start making my first ever house in this game, in Above Snakes. And you're probably wondering, where are the zombies, right? Like, I said something about a zombie apocalypse. This is some zombie survival game. They are there. They're kind of low impact, except when they're not, which startled me, because there was this one that goes running after me, goes chasing after me, but usually they're slow and just sort of struggle along and then you can go and attack them with your axe. It takes a while to get a decent weapon in this game. In fact, during the entire course of these first 3 days, I don't think I actually get a true weapon. I just have my axe. I'm an axe wielding girl. So I usually like to search the trees before cutting them down because I can get some twigs, branches. And the branches, by the way, they don't have that much of a use. I stockpiled way too many, but I don't regret it too much because you use them to start a fire. So like eventually we'll be making a place where we can cook, and we'll be able to start fires and then have them stay for quite a while. It's that dealie down there. You can kind of see it there in the crafting menu. But yeah, that menu that you just saw, that just popped up, that is the only part that I feel really could be changed, I think, if they just moved one of the windows around, because I don't know. Oh yeah, and another thing is that sometimes I would equip the wrong tool, which is my fault. That is completely my fault. But wow, this game really lets you just kind of use the wrong tool over and over again. See, look, I think that's what I'm doing right there. And then I eventually figure out it's the axe, and they let you use the wrong tool, and I don't know. You know that error sound in games sometimes, the kind of like, I don't know, error beep sound. It could have a little bit of something instead of nothing, but not a big deal. I'm probably blocking it with my VTuber model, but in the lower right-hand corner, we have our status where we can see our health and also our hunger and water levels, all that kind of stuff, all that jazz. It's not that big of a deal, actually, because it turns out, again, this is one of the coziest games I've played in a long time. And that is really saying something since that's my genre of choice, but those aspects, the hunger and the thirst and the overall stamina, they aren't a big deal in this game. They do deplete, but you can go long stretches without eating anything. And of course, blueberries are right there. That will take care of your hunger and thirst right there. You could also cook them up and all that to do even better. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal. You can do so much with each day. And another bit of praise that I have for this title is that there's this leveling system. Every single day that you play, it hasn't shown up quite yet, but there's a leveling system having to do with cartography. And you will unlock new biomes as you play with every single thing you do. That reminds me a bit of my all-time favorite cozy farming sim, Rune Factory. And Rune Factory, everything that you do is really working towards something because every single thing has a sort of leveling system. There is something a bit like that in Above Snakes too. Gosh, I'm just jabbering on and on. There's this leveling system having to do with cartography. We'll get into that, or you'll see it soon enough, but it's a really, really cool thing because I just like that I am getting rewarded for every single little bit and bob that I do in this game. Now, decided to put up a log door in the log window, and we don't need any glass, we don't need to go get sand, we don't need to go and put things together. It just kind of works just there. The simplicity might not be everybody's cup of tea, I guess, but I like it. I like it very much. I'm not complaining about it one bit. I like challenging games too, though. You know, Dinkum, for example, is an uncommonly challenging farming sim in my view. I guess I'm thinking of this as a farming survival sim. But, I mean, the relaxing ones are always nice. Even the way that roofs work is really good. Roofs are so easy to place, I just have to get the right ingredients for them. Roofs, they can really, really leave me flummoxed in a lot of other games, especially when they have like, I don't know, 14 different roof types, and I'm just like, please help. Please just automatically assemble them all for me. And this is pretty close to that, but yeah, Lens Island. I've been meaning to play more of that on this channel, by the way. I didn't get too far in it, and probably will have a giveaway too for that one. I'm a bit behind on hosting giveaways that I mean to be hosting, but this title, yeah, it's giving some Lens Island. I feel like if you like this, you should check that out, and if you like Lens Island, this is one to check out if you can, I don't know, enjoy the simplicity a bit. But yeah, I'm placing roofs. I just have to get the right ingredients for them. There's a person over there on the ground who's just like dead, right? Over there with the green shirt and whatever. But yeah, feather. I haven't figured out what to do with feathers yet. across the span of these 3 days. I still didn't figure out what to do with those. And axes increasing level. It's nice to see the constant updates of like things increasing level, things moving up, things leveling up, and it is noticeable too, moving up the levels with the axe. You'll eventually be able to do things just a little bit faster and a little more damage to trees. So another little tip, you see that big stack of wood down there, right? I did something really stupid, which you'll see later, but so that big there are more big stacks of wood, and you can pick them all up. You can have them in your inventory. You can go and like just pick them all up. But it's also possible to tear down this giant log cabin, right? And end up losing all of it. You can end up losing all of it, and that is just it annoys me that I did that, but it's not that big of a deal. I'll just make my own. I'll earn my own going forward. But yeah, this game, the beginning sections, they have some extra bits, and there's just so much comfort when it comes to the gameplay, when it comes to the pacing and the, I guess, quality of life. Quality of life means a lot to me in these types of games. It's definitely noticeable when games kind of respect your time, and this one does extremely well at that. It's like the biggest, best thing about it is that it really respects your time with how long it takes to complete things. It might be simplified, but I like it. And able to just move forward quickly. Another thing I might change, I guess, I don't know. I want to word that a bit differently. I don't want to say I would change things in games, but rather things that I guess I feel could be a bit different. The art here, I don't know. I don't know who made the art. I should look that up, actually. And maybe I'll cut this part until I know for sure. But it does look a little like AI art, and with the character portraits and whatnot. I guess what I want to say is that a game can do well even with stick figures, like West of Loathing, for example. Like you don't need to have AI art portraits. You can draw a stick figure, and I would think it would be okay. Like it just as much. So being able to move the camera, right? I think it's either right trigger or right button, and I really like that right here. You see all that? How you can look around so easily. But yeah, this guy's a jerk. Hunter's best resident. That's why he doesn't have a name, because he's a jerk. He, too many of the characters are jerks. Later you find a survivor's camp, though. The people there seem pretty decent. But, yeah. Used to be so cozy in here with everyone. So make sure you pick up all these things, because if you do decide to tear down this place, which I guess this game doesn't force you to tear it down, but if you decide to anyway, you don't want to miss out on all these little bits. I like Ayana, by the way. She's a cool character, and like a cool title character. Stands out a little bit. Not too many heroines like her out there, I feel, in games. Got a book and a coin. So we are healing someone who seems to have been laying there for, I don't know, it feels like forever that they were laying there. But unfortunately, they are one of those things. This is our first encounter with a zombie in this title. So the tutorial is a little bit misleading. You see, I'm dodge rolling, right? But then it's like, what do you do next? It still says heal the wounded person up in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm just like, okay, how do I heal zombies? I'm like, hey, how do I heal them? Apparently we can heal zombies in this game, right? Right? Not really. This game does not tell you, but you have to take out your axe and whack them. That's it. That's the only way to move forward in this. And I'm looking around. I'm just like, hello, zombie healing potion? And I'm surprised the zombie didn't end up hurting her, but that's funny. It's strange that they didn't factor in this moment into the tutorial to kind of say, hey, we need to kill this zombie. But I'm desperately seeking a zombie healing potion. My brain is like, why do I have to kill them? I'm gonna hide back here. Keep looking in my backpack. You see how slow they are? They're so slow and just lingering around, and I like that. I like that they're so slow. It again lends a sense of like coziness to this title that is unexpected. Honestly, this is another game that I've come across where, and I feel like it has an audience that might not even know it exists. It has an audience of cozy game enjoyers who might not ever imagine that this title exists and not know how comfortable it is to play. I mean, we just chopped up a zombie, but that aside, this game was just really relaxing overall. So, yay, we have a map now. Gosh, what if I do end up just doing commentary through this whole thing? I mean, maybe. Place a plains world piece. Eat some berries. Return to Joanne. Place a plains world piece. Creating world pieces. So, we, check it out. I feel very Legend of Mana-y right now. Legend of Mana is one of my all-time favorite games. I constantly sort of think and rethink what my all-time favorite game is. Legend of Mana is in the rotation. Getting some huckleberries. Huckleberries. Gosh, they look delicious. They are... and they're good for you, too. Good fiber. So, don't starve, eat some berries. I should play Don't Starve sometime on this channel. The first time I played Don't Starve, I was very upset, though. That was years ago. I was upset because I was playing it like it was Harvest Moon or something, and it's not. And I lost so much, and it was annoying. I lost so many things. I lost everything because it's a roguelike. It was one of my first encounters with a roguelike, actually. Ayana, I'm deeply sorry. I had to leave all of a sudden. The Frontier sent a carriage to pick up survivors. The least I could do is leave the cabin to you. You built it after all. They said the plague began spreading from Corpse Creek. They reported meteorites falling down there too. Horrible. Some people survived, but most of them fled. If you can talk to them, maybe that will bring some light into the dark. So I don't know. I feel like... wouldn't it make more sense or be kinder somehow if maybe there's an interaction between she and her, like she lets us know, hey, you know, they're picking up survivors, do you want to come along? And then our main character could be like, no, well, I mean, our main character doesn't have a voice, but could somehow make it clear that they want to stay here. But instead it's like being abandoned or something. Like Joanne abandoned us. Joanne, she saw a way out and she's just like, well, maybe she couldn't find us, but like, I don't know. It comes off strangely to me a little bit. Like, she knows how to survive here. She gave us some of the ropes, and then she just flees with that jerk guy. And then we're left behind to die, and it's like, well, I'm not going to die, though, because I'm an extremely powerful farmer zombie survivor. But, yeah. Anyway, we can take down this, and again, I regret doing this because like there was a bunch of chopped wood in the back that I could have picked up and added to my inventory. That's not that big of a deal, but yeah. So it almost looks like these are attached. If they were positioned just a little differently, they'd look attached somehow. So I wanted to double check this area to see anything else in it. Okay, so you are forced to take these two down in order to move forward in the quest line. There's like a rigid quest line in that sense. Congratulations on making your first shelter. So, we finished making our house. We're on to the next part. Now, from here on out, everything is going to be very customized. Definitely want to think of what I can do with the floors and the flooring to make something a little more elaborate, something a little more pleasant. But, oh yeah, this part right here, it got glitchy over here, I think, just a bit. You see, I wanted to move this around. I wanted to put it inside the building, but I'm not in the building. So I was like, okay, I'll put it there. And I ended up breaking it and said, okay, it's not glitchy, but it was a little misleading, basically. I broke my my workbench, and now I have to remake it. And I'm just like, where is it? Where did it go? What happened? Opening and closing this. Day one is quite lengthy, actually, isn't it? There's a lot to it. Day 2 and 3 feel a little bit shorter by comparison because the tutorial's over. We just keep moving on. I'm looking for my workbench, but I have to recraft it again. There we go. Everything is had. And I like the ambient noise too. So I was thinking of putting it in there, and then I actually ended up putting it pretty much exactly where it was all over again. I have an image in my head of placing down some planks and making it prettier, but I'm not able to make planks without that thing. So it's kind of like, okay, I'll just put it out here and whatever. It works. So, cartography table. We need to make ink, huckleberry, and feather. Okay, so that's the purpose of the feather then, ink. I'd forgotten about that. Also, you'll need ink if you want to tear down certain pieces of land that you've created. So, getting feathers are worth it. I decided to just go ahead and make a little bit of everything, the bed and all that jazz. But maybe I didn't do it yet. I'm gonna do it. Oh wait, I already did it. Okay. Everything is happening so fast I wasn't even noticing what I myself was doing. There we go. I like the overall look of this game, even though you start with such meager offerings, I guess. I hope going forward that the things that we collect might be a little visually nice as we move forward. New world piece researchable. I don't like how it destroys whatever is already there. But at the same time, I also like that, you know, it's not giving us an error of like, oh, there's already something sitting there. Biomes. New world piece researchable. So I can place down my new world piece. Well, I already did actually, but you can place them down, up and around you. Gosh, the ground is in dire straits down there. You see that? I'm not sure why it's like that actually. Still figuring out stuff and things, I guess. Just like, how do I do this? Place a plains to pine forest world piece. Basically, what they needed to mention is that there's a bar, and I'm probably blocking it again, but there's a bar at the bottom right that is gradually filling up. And that bar, when it's at max, which it will be very soon from doing anything whatsoever, you'll be able to go and research and craft a new world piece. I blew my own mind by sleeping from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., which I am still shocked. I don't think I've slept all a night through in years. Many, many years, actually. And I'm something of a night owl, so it's even stranger. So the way that I placed that just now, I wanted to say this anyway. You can rotate them, and I wish I placed it differently. You'll see a little later why, but there's a more ideal way to place that world piece. Guess I'm just like wandering. Just wandering around. now that I think about it, right? This game might not be a looker. I mean, it is the zombie apocalypse after all. But it works. It works. It works very well. I am enjoying the gameplay loop. And when I tore myself away finally on day 4, I was like, gosh, I still have a lot of things I'd like to do. But I wanted the first video to be about an hour long, so. Ooh, we picked up some flint and rocks. Flint is good. Flint is something you can craft as well. Kind of funny to see it just randomly drop there. So, Pine Forest unlocks with 4 rocks. We have 6 of them, so now we have the Pine Forest. So this is where I'm a little silly. I mean, wait. There's still more to see before we get to the silliness. But pickaxes increased, yay. I'm really hunched. It's like I'm from the Joel school of being in stealth mode, slowly walking. Joel from The Last of Us. I like Joel. I also like Ellie in the first game. Joel and Ellie. I honestly, like, The Last of Us is one of my favorite games. I've played it many times. Many times. Never did play the sequel. Didn't really... Oh gosh, I just keep whacking away at that, but... Always meant to try the sequel someday, but I'm not too interested in it. Honestly, I'd rather just go and replay the beginning, the first game, over and over again forever, because it's so good. It's so good. And Uncharted is also really good. The Uncharted series. Uncharted is good all the way through, too. So, axes increased. We are almost ready. Yep, a new world piece is ready because of all of our efforts. Now we can place a new part of the world. This is where I am very silly. So, this pine forest, right? It's gonna have this red line. And what the red line means is that it is... It takes me a while to realize this. It is... Gosh, now I have to figure out how to explain it. Conflicting with another biome. So like, you can see there's that light green, right? Since this is an entirely dark green piece, it needs to be connected only to something that is dark green. So what I should have done, but I had no way of knowing, is that previous piece, right? I shouldn't have put it sideways. I should have had the dark green part facing out somewhere. Because like, let's say I had the dark green part facing out to the south, right? Then I would have been able to place that dark green leafy piece to the south completely, and it wouldn't be conflicting. I could have put it right there, yeah. If I had the dark green area kind of facing out. That's one of the only sorts of slightly confusing aspects in this game, but now I know how it works, and it's all good. So, I was just like, what the heck do I do now? Yeah, I don't know. I always said I would have cut things, but I guess I'll just have this part be here. They could have explained this a little bit better, maybe, but I mean, now I know, and now I know that what I would need to do in order to fix this situation... Oh, dusk and night. It has become dusk. The night is close. If you're not willing to fight all kinds of dangers in the wild, you should return. That is a little scary. So, craft a campfire, set up and light the campfire, cook a berry bowl. These are a lot of little things to do, but thankfully I have just enough time to do them. I'm rushing about a little bit though, because it's like, oh gosh, campfire, got it. Place it anywhere at all. And there we go. Light it with one branch. Fuel it. You don't really need more than one branch, honestly. It'll last more than long enough. So, you can make a cooked meal. Oh yeah, there's a lot of holding down buttons in this game. Like, you hold down buttons to craft. You hold down buttons to do pretty much everything. Holding up on the D-pad. So, my fatigue, right? You can kind of see the, I don't know, they could have positioned those letters a little bit differently to let us see them better. New blueprint recipe book. I didn't make that yet. I need to remember to get on there and make that. Still not even nighttime quite yet. I really want to get Workbench Tier 2 unlocked. It takes a little bit of time to do that. We need a specific item that we can't get from the current biomes. This is a bit of a lonely game, actually. I would say that much about it, I suppose. At some point, Graveyard Keeper came to mind, which I used to bring up that game all the time. It's a fantastic game. And yeah, actually, Graveyard Keeper definitely comes to mind as a game that is a little bit comparable to this. There's a sort of solitary aspect to this game above Snakes, more than the average, I guess, farming and survival sim. It's going to be a while before I even meet new people in this game, though it will happen. Creating a new world piece? Yeah, I'm still banging my head against the wall, wondering what the heck is wrong with this thing? Why doesn't it just set right there? It is a little odd that they happen to decide upon putting limitations on where we can place things based on what edges look like. I finally figured it out now after unlocking the plains and lake section. So, plains and lake, this one is able to unlock pretty much effortlessly, and yeah, it's just there. I'm just like, hey, this one just sets down for no reason. I don't know why it's so effortless. And yeah. Water. Delicious water. I don't know what that red stuff is over there. It's like mushrooms. I don't know if I could pick those up. I'll have to look. But yeah. My hunger and thirst levels are suffering just a little bit. So I'm gonna have to take care of that, but plant fibers, I need 4 of those. Plant fibers are probably one of the slightly rarer items in this game. You need to go and hunt down a... Kitty! Stop! No. Okay. Yeah, plant fibers, you need to break down bushes in order to get those. Usually there's a decent amount of bushes when you open certain biomes. And I think you can get them from taking down the berry bushes, but I just never felt like I needed to do that. I could just search for the plain bushes like the one down south there. So, now... Yeah, see, I was thinking about taking down that land there, but it's like, I need 2 ink for that, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't seem all that important, so... I actually have no idea what I'm doing here. I want to get some beeswax. That is something we'll be doing soon, actually, is collecting beeswax. And... this game is just so chill. It is so chill. And it's funny because while watching it right now, right, I'm thinking about past titles I've played, like I always do, like Sims Castaway on the Nintendo DS, for example. Even Sims Castaway is a little more challenging than this one. And of course, the Lost in Blue series on Nintendo DS. Gosh, I wish they would bring that one back. I know there's a Lost in Blue game on the Wii, and there might even be one on the Switch. I think... Wait, is it Endless Ocean? Endless Ocean might be related to Lost in Blue somehow, if it's not the Ever Blue series that it's related to. But, yeah, I can't remember. But Lost in Blue is such a good series. and it's such a pain in the butt. It was challenging for me. And I think it would still be challenging even now. And in this game, it's like collect berries, survive, get rewarded for everything you do, unlock new parts of the world, the end. So yeah, I guess I still haven't quite figured it out. Or maybe I did and I'm just like, no, go in there anyway. Please, go in there anyway. Because it's a little bit of a hassle to have to redo everything, but it's all good. We make a new world piece this time. It's going to be a bit of greenery with a south-facing start of a forest. Oh yeah, and the lake. The lake is going to be good to get. Still a little confused on, what is the best place to put this? It does matter a bit, because it's like, to change up everything, you'd need to make ink, and you need to make 2 ink, so I want to make sure that wherever I put things is an optimal place. I'm so picky. There we go. Now we'll be able to make a forest. It'll be downward facing, and we can't make it quite yet because we need to do a bunch of stuff throughout the day until we're able to place down another cartography piece. So I'm just like, whatever. I'll search the trees and maybe cut them down a bit. You can always make use of some extra wood. And the fact that you could just make buildings in any way you want to, I like that. I wish there were a few more visual elements though as far as what we can make, but I think those are gonna be something that unlock in time, so can't really judge it too much yet. Actually, I can judge it. Right from the beginning of the game, there could have been more visual elements to work with in the building process. World piece is ready, yay! So, not even done getting my blueberries. So now I can finally make a forest. And we have new blueprints too for a new pickaxe and an axe. Upgraded ones, I would presume. New world piece is researchable. I decided to go make a beeline, speaking of bees, straight for those woods. And I was thinking, maybe I could just get some honey from there, but that's not how it works. We have to use the axe. Now, I got a little terrified because, you know, getting attacked like that and suddenly losing some health. If you're fast about it, you can use the axe, really quickly chop down that tree, and you'll lose, unfortunately, like 20% at least of your health overall. But you'll get a gosh darn beeswax, which you need to be able to... You'll need that in order to be able to upgrade your craftables. Huckleberry bowl. New recipe. So, we have turned dirty water into water by boiling it. Now we can drink some hot water. Actually, hot water can be good for you. I mean, warm water, well, let's say on the edge of hot. It's good for, I would say it's good for digestion. It's good for stomach pain. It's good for gut-related pain. It's good for gut-related anything, actually. It calms your stomach. Finally. It was rocket science, but I found that pickaxe. It's funny how she just creeps along. I have to remember to try to put items away when I'm not using them. There's a button to like sheath them and all that. I don't know if that affects anything in particular. I'm not terribly worried about things like energy and stamina anyway. They don't make a difference. One of these days I'm going to be brave and hang out in the dark a little longer because I'm curious what could be out there that differentiates nighttime. A bit like Dredge. In Dredge, oh gosh, that's another game. In Dredge, the nighttime is dangerous. It is scary. Alright, so we're on day 3. And there's a lot that's going to be completed today, actually. I decided to go and get as much water as I could, so I could make heaps of clean water. It's something that's standing out a little bit more now that the water and hunger levels, I want to try to work on them more aggressively since they are dwindling. I guess the hunger level right now is actually getting even just a little bit dangerous, but not too much of a problem. Make some nice clean water. All 3 in one go. Easier than in Disney Dreamlight Valley. I mean, I don't know, they might have changed it by now, but I remember the cooking being a little annoying, so it would take a bit of time. Inedible. If you put water all by itself, it is inedible. I made a cooked meal for the heck of it. There we go. You can also go to the menu if you happen to have food in your inventory to go and take care of it that way. And oh gosh, you can see one over there in that southern section. So searching this pine tree, and there we go. Even more feathers, and even though there's a beehive there, I mean, in the trees, I mean, in that particular tree, it doesn't really bother you until you take out the axe and start whacking it. Yay, survivors camp. We can finally make this. And, I mean, almost. We have a little bit longer to go with doing some stuff for today before the option for a new land shows up. Oh yeah, the deer over there, the elk. They're not dangerous. It seems like you can just go right up to them. They're more dangerous in real life, I've heard. I've heard they're dangerous. The male ones. And they're so cute, too. They're adorable, but they're dangerous, actually. So yeah, I lost about... Actually, it wasn't even 20% of my health. You just have to move really, really fast with the axe as you're getting attacked by bees. A king bullet. Still need to try to make something with mushrooms in this game. There must be some type of recipes having to do with those. Still need to make the recipe book, too. I forgot about sheathing my weapon. I think I might walk faster when I do. Yeah. Your character will run when their weapon is sheathed. I think that's the difference between things. Otherwise, they do this goofy, skulking walk. So, survivors to the north. I wish the survivors, I mean, you'll see soon enough, but I wish they were a little bit more exciting. or there was a little bit more deeper interactivity with them. But they are some NPCs to talk to, but more importantly, perhaps, collecting all of these items. There's a lot of loot everywhere. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Rise of the Village Hero. That is a game that I recommend. It's not in this genre, though. It's an action game. It's like an action RPG. But it has a lot of loot in it. I don't know. Something about this area reminds me of it. Sam Brown. Let's not talk about that for now. It was not an easy moment for us. We're lucky to be alive still. That's a little bit suspicious somehow. Like, what happened? How did you lose all your provisions, sir? But yeah, he has a quest for us that we can work toward. And eventually come back to this area and take care of it. Hey, look at Greg Brown over here. Like, why can't we get to know them a little bit better, you know? Have a little more than just, like, one-line conversation and that's it. I don't know, he might have a future quest or something for us, but I have no idea. Picked up some flint. There's a treasure chest on that wagon, too. Common key. It really is nice to, I guess, have that sense of discovery where you're unlocking new biomes and you're not sure what they're going to have. This one really has some nice stuff to it. And of course, it's part of the quest line, so it makes sense to do it. Canned beans. Canned beans. Oh yeah, this is described actually as like a Wild West survival game, and not too many Wild West themed games in the world, so that differentiates this one a little bit too. And I really do think of this as like a farming sim. It reminds me of farming sims, even though technically I guess we're not farming, but it reminds me of farming sims. It reminds me of those general types of games. The atmosphere and the peacefulness. I don't know what I was doing here. Oh yeah, my hunger level is really struggling. That's what was happening right here. I realized at this point about how you can eat the berries from the menu screen. I think I'm on the prowl now for beehives, because to upgrade our workbench, we're going to need to do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it takes 5 hits to take down the beehive and get the beeswax. And unfortunately, you can only get 1 beeswax per tree. I mean, unless there's some RNG involved and I was just unlucky each time, but it's possible. But yeah, I had to take down 3 beehives, 5 wax each, kind of just take the damage in the process. Not too big of a deal. The only thing that makes it a little bit annoying is the presence of the zombies. Oh my gosh, I accidentally killed that deer right there, that elk just walking through. They drop quite a few things though. It's kind of crazy that we can accidentally kill them. Hide, hard antler, and some raw meat. Those are some good spoils for some extra cooking. I'm not sure though if we really need that, because like now I'm reminded of Harvest Island. I kept making the same sad meal over and over again for that poor little boy in Harvest Island. And what was his name? Sam? I can't remember. But Will. His name was Will. Will and Samantha. Gosh, I do remember. I kept making the same meal over and over. It's like, if it works, right? I wanna do varieties of things, but when the same thing keeps working, I like that. Okay, we need a wooden table, and then we'll be able to make a new type of crafting table. I'm curious why we would need a storage chest, right? I mean, as we run into more types of things, that's going to be nice, but oh my goodness, so many new blueprints. We can finally make a better weapon, and not only that, but a long-range weapon. That's going to make this game even cozier, because I won't have to get right up in an enemy's face all the time. So many new climate pieces too. Plains, pine forest. There's another one though that needs 4 pieces of flint that I would prefer to get. Plains and prairie. Prairie is, I would take it, a brand new type of biome with all new types of stuff in it. That's what I'm imagining. So looking forward to getting that too. We are getting towards the end of this video now. Kind of surprised I haven't come across coal. Any type of coal or ores, but again, lots of other biome possibilities.